Ciao Juventini of the world, my name is Giuseppe, welcome back on the channel, I hope you're all doing well. First of all, before starting speaking about Milinkovic-Savic, a lot about mercato and especially a news that is really annoying me, you will hear about it towards the end of the video. I really wanted to thank you for all the support in the video of yesterday. It was not a hot video with a hot topic because we were just speaking about calendars, but thank you for all the support with all the maximum of likes also in the video. That did a bit less views than usual, you know that the channel at the moment is having a difficult moment, so thank you for this. But anyway, I wanted to start today's video with a mathematical problem, or at least trying to solve some mathematics with using the logic. Ragazzi, pay attention, take your books, because we will go with mathematics. Guys, sometimes I have to teach you something. So the mathematical problems that we have to solve today is actually 1 plus 1 plus 1. What is 1 plus 1 plus 1? Well, when you're adding up all these ones together, it means 3. As easy as that. It's using the logic, 1 plus 1 plus 1. And actually that is leading us towards Sergej Milinkovic-Savic to Juventus. Because if we are taking 1 plus 1 plus 1, it means Milinkovic-Savic to Juventus. If you don't believe me, I will try to prove you. The first thing is that we are speaking about the media. All the media are going towards the same direction. You remember when I told you when you want to know about a mercato news, if it's true or not, reliable or not, you have to wait. You have to be patient, waiting that the media in Italy, Tuttosport, Gazzetta dello Sport, Corriere dello Sport, but also the journalists like Di Marzio, Romeo Agresti, a lot of people, and then televisions like Sky Sport, Sport Italia and so on, they are all going towards the same direction. And I believe that that's where we are today. All of them are speaking with kind of certainty about the big, huge interest from Juventus towards Sergej Milinkovic-Savic. Was it a secret? Absolutely not. But the good thing, or at least this is what now the people are reporting, is, like Tuttosport is saying on their front page, Sergej aspetta solo la Juve. Sergej Milinkovic-Savic is waiting only for Juventus. Yesterday in Saudi Arabia papers, ragazzi, now that's the new habit. Now we don't have only to start reading Mirror, The Sun and all these papers from England to understand the Premier League, but we also have to start analyzing the Saudi Arabia papers because they are also on big names, on big players and coaches. So we have to take them into consideration when we are talking about mercato. Well, they were speaking about Sergej Milinkovic-Savic with a big offer towards a Serbian player, but apparently they are saying no. He and his entourage are saying no, we don't want to, because we want only Juventus. Only Juve, only Juve, only Juve. Apparently he said to his agent, I will go on holiday, I will do my stuff, I will swim a bit, I will relax a bit, I will go in a club in the night, I will have some fun. Anyway, I have my phone with me, but you don't call me. You don't call me except if it's just to tell me, to announce me that it's Juventus, the Bianconeri, on the other side of the phone. If they are calling me to tell me, Sergej, everything is ready, you can come to La Continassa to do your medical test, I take the phone. Otherwise, you don't call me. Ragazzi, he has 1 more year of contract and it starts to be a problem. And that's where we are going towards that second two. If that first was the media, we are going towards that second point. We are going towards Maurizio Sarri, his coach at Lazio, ex-coach of Juventus, that yesterday spoke on television saying that Milinkovic-Savic is starting to be a problem. Why? Because he has 1 more year of contract, and we know that Lotito already did it in the past. If players are in the last year of their contract, he has no hesitation to put them out of the team. Sergej Milinkovic-Savic, we know it, we are going towards the year of the Euro, so he's kind of obliged to play. But Milinkovic is now starting to say, I don't care, only Juve. I don't renew with Lazio, I took my decision, I will not go to Saudi Arabia, I will not listen to other offers, also because at the moment, to be honest, between you and me, there are not a lot of offers for Sergej. You know that Sergej has not a lot of offers, or he's not really an appetite in Premier League. Only Manchester United already showed in the past some interest, but other than that, not a lot. So he said, now it's the moment for me to go and to take my chance, not renewing like I did in the past, to go to Juve. And Maurizio Sarri was saying it. He is now a problem for the club. What are the consequences? I have no idea. This is a matter of the club. So he's already publicly saying, and it's not a mystery, it's not a casualty, that he's using the words consequences, because we know it with Lotito, it's not a tough one. So let's see. He's also praising the player, saying that, except of the goals and the assists, he's a player that per season is doing you 40 opportunities, 40 chances created per season, which is huge for a midfielder. And then we are going towards the third point that adding to the first two ones are giving us solution 3, Milinkovic-Savic to Juve. You are speaking about mercato. We are speaking also about the fact that Luis Alberto, midfielder from Lazio, that a lot of time was alternated with Milinkovic-Savic, not always starting the games. If you are looking at the season of Sarri, step by step he gained also his trust. He started really to understand the game of Sarri. They started to build a relationship, but now we arrive to the point that he officially renewed until 2027. If you are going all in with the renewal of your Spanish player, Luis Alberto, looks like they are already starting to understand that it will not be Milinkovic-Savic that will be there in Lazio next season. Now that we spoke about Sergej Milinkovic-Savic, we have to understand where he will play. Because yesterday there were the calendars that were out. Calendars, we know it. We start the first game against Udinese. And it's a bit strange that it's Udinese, because it was the last game of 22-23 where we won with the goal of Federico Chiesa. But it was also the first real game of Allegri 2.0. That after a fantastic start, alla Allegri, 2 goals in the beginning of the game. And then, unfortunately, not alla Allegri, you receive 2 goals against with a lot of mistakes of Szczesny. Looks like the destiny is saying to Max here, Max, 2 years of total disaster, now you have the chance to start again. We are giving you again the chance. Hopefully that can be real, but if we want to know if Sergej will be on the field with Juventus or not against Lazio, or with Lazio against Juve, we will have to wait the 4th game, the 4th match day on the 17th of September. Anyway, yesterday we spoke about the calendars, if you want to go back to the video. Now, to arrive to Sergej, it's not that easy, because the request of Lotito are 40 million euro, and that's a lot of money that Juventus has absolutely no intention to reach. They will try to negotiate, maybe lowering the price with maybe arriving to a 30 million euro, but how can they do it? Well, the good news is that Zakaria is on the market and has some offers, has some interest, like West Ham, for example. West Ham is on the player, and apparently today they could be one of the decisive calls towards the player from Switzerland. 18 million euro is the offer, 25 is the request of Juve, which I tell you, honestly, I'm really happy about, because I was really believing that the request was 18 and that probably West Ham would go lower. So that's a really positive news. Otherwise, we can try to also put some players in the deal to lower the price tag of Milinkovic. One of the players that is really liked by Lazio and that at the moment is even there on loan is Pellegrini. Pellegrini would be fantastic, because it's not a player that I believe in, it's not a player that Allegri believe in, it's not a player that we need on that left side of the field, but it's probably a player that we can use to put in that deal for Sergej. Then, of course, the other problem is that they also want, and especially want, Rovella, and I would go with a absolutely no go for Rovella. If we are giving Rovella for Sergej, I believe we are really doing a mistake. Anyway, the other alternative on top, because Zakaria will not be enough, Pellegrini will not be enough, we need some cash in our finances. And one of the reasons is maybe to start selling players that for a reason or another are giving you a lot of profits. Matthias Soulé, born in 2003, can be that player, with offers that are nearly reaching 20 million euro from Feyenoord, the champions of Eredivisie, the champions of the Netherlands. Ragazzi, Soulé is a player that I believe in, that I think that he will be a fantastic player, but probably in the chance that he had at Juventus, he didn't show enough to really Juventus saying, we keep you and you will be one of the pioneers from that next gen that become a star in the first team. So I really believe that it would make sense, especially with an offer of 20 million euro. On the other side, London is calling for a lot of players, like, for example, also Iling Jr. And there are some Premier League clubs that are even ready to reach a 25 million euro offer. Ragazzi, it's a player that I absolutely don't want to sell. But if these players are allowing me to keep other big names, so Soulé and Iling, that are bringing you 45 million euro of profit, it's a lot. and that this allows you to keep you Dusan Vlahovic and Federico Chiesa, playing of course in another way than that 3-5-2 that will penalize both of them, well, I will not be against it. On the other side, we also need to find space for Milinkovic if we really want the 21 from Serbia in our, or the 21 from Lazio in our team. We need to find some space, because at the moment we have too many midfielders, and that's why Miretti could not be sold but could go on loan. And there are already 4 teams on the Italian midfielder from 19 years old: Genoa and Cagliari, new promoted teams, with Genoa already promising some minutes to play. And that's important that you find this in a deal, because if you have to loan him out and then there is no promise of minutes to be played, it can potentially be a problem, because then he's there on the bench. No, these players, they need a promise of at least some minutes that they can play, so that they can show and they can develop themselves. Genoa, Salernitana, I told you, but also Monza and Salernitana, with Salernitana really pushing for the player after not renewing Nicolussi. So attenzione to Miretti that could go on loan. Space, well, can Milinkovic-Savic play with Pogba and Rabiot, or will he replace Pogba, because Pogba would not be ready physically, or he can potentially be sold if they identify that Paul is not ready physically? Well, this is what we will discover in that month of July, also in the tournée in USA, where we will play 3 games from the 22nd of July, so it's quite nearly, it's in less than 20 days. But yesterday Pogba was for his 2nd consecutive day at La Continassa training, with a fantastic video where you can see the different exercises that he's doing. He's in top form, or at least he's trying to work to arrive and to reach that top form. I tell you, for me, and this is not only the heart but also the mental that is speaking, Pogba, I would keep him. At least I would try everything I can until January. I don't want to regret that player. I really don't want to regret that player, that he was ready and that we didn't believe in him. Of course, Juventus, they are not 100% sure, and that's why they will monitor Pogba really in detail. Another one that will be important for that midfield is Fagioli, that yesterday as well arrived in La Continassa. We are not sure yet, and that's maybe a bad news, we are not sure yet if Fagioli will join the team in USA. You know, the problem on the shoulder, surgery there, he's there, he will try to give his best to go with the team in USA, but it's not sure. But anyway, he should be without any problem ready for the first game of Serie A. Grande Nicolo Fagioli, that now he will have a big test, because, you know, it being a surprise is one thing, playing at Cremonese is another thing, reaffirming himself and all the promises that we have put in that young midfielder is another one. So it will be, of course, a really tough season, and also a season where we will discover if Fagioli is really that new player that we all want to believe in and that we want to spend our money to buy the shirt from. On the other side, ragazzi, for the people that were thinking that it was over for Bonucci apparently started to receive some interest from Newcastle also Bianconeri, that already signed the player from Serie A. We are speaking about Tonali for a mega offer. Well, apparently they start to speak about salary, they start to speak about eventually paying Juventus a fee. Attenzione, Bonucci Juve 23-24 is at the moment not a promise. Now we have to speak about something that I told you really annoyed me. Gazzetta dello Sport, except of speaking about the calendar, about Pioli, about whatever you want to, about the new Milan with potentially Pulisic, with Morata and so on, and Reinders and so on, they're also speaking about Juventus, and they are saying, Juventus, within the 10 days you have the verdict if you will be able to compete in European competition next season. If this doesn't arrive, if the answer is not arriving from UEFA in the 10 days, they can also take into consideration to ban you in 24-25. Means Juventus playing the Conference League now, and then if we qualify, whatever, maybe even in Champions League, that's our goal for next season, then the season after you are not participating in the Champions League. Now I'm telling myself, ragazzi, it's already more than 1 year that we were following all the court decision and so on and so on. Juventus, they found an agreement. We were treated on Gazzetta dello Sport by UEFA publicly at multiple times that if we give up on that Super League project, what Juventus already did kind of with a letter, well, Juventus could have seen UEFA and Ceferin saying, you know what, it's okay. Maybe a year ban, but then it's okay. We will give you the verdict really soon. instead of having that verdict at the end of June, we are still in July and we have no idea where we will play, in what competition. Then you will tell me, Beppe, but who cares about Conference League? No, it's important. The moment is super important. Why? For a simple reason. If you play the Conference League this year, that means that you have 2 competitions to handle plus Coppa Italia. So 2.5 competitions to handle. That means that you need more players. That means that you need also a different preparation during the summer, because playing once a week is one thing, playing twice a week is a totally different story. Then, if you tell already Juventus that whatever you are doing, you are playing the Conference League, but you will be banned next year, well, ragazzi, this influence also mercato, players that potentially want to join Juve. So for me, it's a total disaster. And what is really hurting me is the fact that no journalists are even questioning the fact that this is absolutely not okay. I know from a Spanish team that has been banned, it's a disaster news for them, but at least they know. We don't know, and we are asking ourselves questions. Then we finish with the last page, Corriere dello Sport, that is speaking about question mark Vlahovic. We know it is a question mark. He is potentially on the market between the 60 and 80 million euro. Not a lot of offers, really serious offers for the Serbian player at the moment, but there is probably the entourage of Federico Chiesa that is going in UK maybe for a mission to understand if really the relationship with Juventus in terms of technical requests are not fulfilled. What are the options for Chiesa? Is it only Aston Villa or are there more offers? So at the moment, guys, we will have to wait to really understand which big player will be sold, because we were speaking all video long about Sergej Milinkovic-Savic potentially arriving. We were speaking about Zakaria leaving, a Soulé Iling Jr, and so on and so on. But it will be still a tough one. Let's not forget the fact that what we said in the beginning, financially we are not in an easy period. So the potential to sell a big player is still on that priority list of Cristiano Giuntoli. Anyway, that was it for me. If you arrived on the end of the video, it means that you care, that you really care, you know. So I will be live on Twitch later today. So if you want to, you can follow me. The link should be in the description. So you click in the description and you join me. I believe it will be 1 p.m. Italian time. Grazie, forza, Juve.